Hi, I'm Sonya and I'm from London. When my life was at its worst with the chronic fatigue, constantly getting hammered by viruses, basically never really recovering and getting another one, but I just kind of plough on and try and get better, go back to work when I was able to, but it was just felt relentless, to be honest, and quite unaware of my patterns at the time, really. I would attempt to kind of just think I needed to do things better myself, so I'd try, I just need to do a bit more exercise, and then of course I'd get ill again. And just feeling dreadful, really. Feeling like I was failing people around me, like not able to be my best, you know. And I think it just can unravel from there a little bit. I was referred to a local NHS chronic fatigue management service who kind of rejected my referral after a few months because they needed an official diagnosis from a hospital. So there was a lot of toing and froing in the NHS. I kind of knew that was going to be the pathway, basically, from talking to other people. So that's why I thought now I understand what's going on. I really need the support for it, and I need people who know what they're doing. I initially had a discovery call, and we spoke about agreeing I'd be the right fit for the clinic, first of all, and then who maybe would be best to work with me. I'd seen Lee present a course on neurodiversity, so I kind of requested if I could work with Lee because I felt like talking to somebody who was also neurodivergent would be great. And then Sarah was my nutrition kind of match. Yeah, and it just went from there, really. I was fully on board with the psychology side going into it because I'd already been doing some work on that before. And the nutrition side and the functional medicine side was just I was kind of just curious and interested to see what that would be about, really.
When Sonya first came to see me, she'd been living with chronic fatigue and recurring crashes for years. I think it was about 8 in total. But things had really started to escalate after a run of constant infections, burnout for which she needed lots of time off work, and prolonged stress. She knew things had to change.
Sarah, looked at all my symptoms, and although to me, they didn't seem like major or anything, she was like, oh no, that's not right, that's not normal, you shouldn't be having that.
What was really important early on was recognizing that this wasn't about fixing just one thing. Sonya had a lot of symptoms. She had daily bloating, a lot of discomfort, and a lot of food reactions that were making day-to-day life difficult. Her symptoms really made sense when we looked at the whole context of just what her body had been carrying for such a long time.
So we started off looking at gut support and gut healing. That made a massive difference quite quickly, actually, which was kind of reassuring and quite unexpected, to have such quick changes.
Digestion is so foundational to all of our work. It's simple. If you're not absorbing and assimilating nutrients properly, everything else becomes that much harder.
I could be really good with my diet at times, and other times, I guess, when my energy is lower, I would just be kind of eating what I'd be preparing for my 11-year-old son, which is quite the same nutritional requirements as what I need. So she looked at diet and just getting more veggies in and reducing the things that, like, I'd got into a bit of a bad habit, like crisps and things.
Some of the key considerations we looked at included a low FODMAP diet. Might be something you've heard of before. What's really important to note is that a FODMAP diet is not a long-term diet. It's used best when it's used as a short-term tool to calm the digestive system, and then gradually reintroducing these foods to rebuild tolerance and diversity in her gut and her diet. So in Sonia's case, this created a much calmer baseline, and that gave us the foundation to move on to broader nutrition and energy support. She found digestive enzymes and gentle gut lining support really helpful at this stage. And then when all of that was in place, we could look at prebiotic and probiotic support, which were introduced really carefully and slowly. Then as her gut started to settle, we saw lots of other positive knock-on effects. She was getting less bloating, she was getting fewer crashes after meals, and less background inflammation. We saw improvements not just in digestion, but in mood, cravings, and her ability to get through work days without completely crashing like she'd seen before. So once the foundations were in place and her gut was calmer, we were able to shift into what I'd call a mitochondrial support phase. What we often see with post-viral fatigue clients is that there's often a lot of impaired energy production, so mitochondrial work is really essential. The aim here was to support cellular energy really gently, not to overstimulate and overwhelm. So we always choose supplements on an individual basis at the clinic, but some of the supplements that Sonya found really helpful included CoQ10, D-ribose on really high activity days, a methylated multivitamin, and magnesium, which is so essential for nervous system and muscle support and helped to reduce a lot of the pain she was getting. What was really encouraging was that her response to activity started to change. She could walk further, she could tolerate very small amounts of resistance training, and she recovered much better and quicker. So we saw there was a lot of resilience starting to improve and come back.
When I first burnt out, I just thought, I've got to get back to work and do yoga 3 times a week and do mindfulness. And then, although those things were not bad, my whole way of doing it was in this kind of striving and achieving and pushing myself. So a lot of what Lee's done is actually kind of teaching me to relax and teaching me to be kind of kinder to myself, basically. And what's the relationship like with myself on a day-to-day basis.
It was hard for Sonya to take space for herself. You know, she has a son who's at school, she has a job, life is quite tight. Yet it's really important to be able to take space for yourself. And what's really hard in that is that the reality of the sort of hours of the day, there often is space. But what's hard is that when you're in that doing mode, because you're always aware that like your child might need to be picked up from school, or they might call you, or like work might need something, your nervous system stays switched on. So it's then really hard to take the pockets of time you do have and to take rest. So we kind of really work to look at, okay, what pockets of time are there and what things can you do?
I joined like a spa to help with my nervous system regulation. So I was going there. I meditate daily, for example, and I'm deepening that practice now. It's just really learning how to slow down a bit.
Then what was interesting in that was some of the judgments that came up around that of like, actually, when you're someone that hasn't taken time, when you do take time, what you start to recognize is the judgments of like, well, do I deserve this? Am I putting my needs before others? So it's sort of, opened up another layer.
Lee's just been incredibly like kind and compassionate towards me. I have quite a strong inner critic, so he's like role modeling to me how I need to be towards myself as well.
Within Sonia's past, there were some big losses, like some big grief to work with. There was trauma involved in that, and what can happen when we have these past emotions that we don't feel, and some basically what we might call survival energy, is that it remains incomplete within us, incomplete within our nervous system. It's meant to come through, be felt and processed. And what can happen is that energy can just kind of come through as symptoms, discomfort, dysregulation, which feel like a problem. So we try to fix it, and it keeps that loop incomplete. So the level we worked on was how Sonya can start moving towards and relating to some of those uncomfortable sensations, emotions, feelings that might be coming through, and sort of allowing this energy to move.
That's been really helpful because I think for decades I've been able to distract and avoid and push emotions away in the fear that if I got too close to it, it would become overwhelming, or it's just too painful or too sad, or it's just going to bring all of that up. And Lee will say to me things like, it doesn't have to be a scary thing. It's just, and we'll practice it in a session, like just opening, like, how is it now? And how is it in your body? And that's all it is, so kind of and normalizing it, that it's just part of being human and it's not a weakness.
Where our work is together now is revisiting each of these pieces, and especially with the landing in yourself and processing our emotional past, is that you work through a layer, or you become comfortable with one sensation or one kind of new feeling, and then something else will come through. Because the way I view it is that our nervous system can regulate that quite well for us, and as something settles and processes, it will deliver something new through. So there's a further landing, and this isn't to mean that Sonya needs to process everything from the past for her nervous system to regulate. It's just that there is often a tipping point where we need to process enough for our nervous system to kind of sit into some kind of regulation. And again, it's not the case that past emotional experiences and trauma are kind of always the direct cause of the fatigue, but it's actually sometimes we need to bring the emotional load right down to be able to kind of re-regulate the nervous system. But it isn't a case of having to process everything to get it to a regulated state. So we kind of just continue to work on that and see where that is.
My life has changed a lot following the sort of 10, 11 months that I've done with the Optimum Health Clinic. I was looking back on my assessment form actually, and I was really scoring myself very highly for sort of anxiety and my fatigue levels and how unwell I was feeling. And now I'm just generally more relaxed, able to have a bit more fun with my son, which is great, and just have more quality time with him really. And yeah, doing like walking around in Sussex at the summer with my friends, and the next day I had a bit of aching and then I was fine, which is totally normal. So it's drastically different, both in terms of like my physical symptoms and also just how I am within, that I am a bit more settled within myself. It's lovely to know that even after that initial stint of support, particularly with something like chronic fatigue, where you could have had it like I did for years and years and years, that there is the option to continue to have follow-up even after the initial program is ended. I'd say if you're kind of watching this and you're really trying to figure it out on your own, I would just stop doing that, because there are people out there who, like at the Optimum Health Clinic, and they know exactly what to do, and they've been working with people with chronic fatigue for like over 20 years. If you can get the support, just get it, and just start to take the pressure off yourself a little bit.